Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Man, he's my favorite. Don't you bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right. And for whatever reason, the devil got a hold of that circumstance.
That's why T.D. Jakes was there, to try to fix his image. Ain't no money like church money. He was doing all the things to try to get his image straightened up.
I mean, it makes sense. And he also said in this lawsuit that when he was around Diddy, he seen Diddy give out guns, a lot of guns. And he said that the environment around Diddy was violent.
Well, I don't know. He also said Diddy distributed firearms and was selling drugs. Because you know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced.
Something strange is happening behind the polished smiles and calm interviews of Hollywood's biggest names. After Diddy's arrest, old friendships and secret ties have started to unravel. What once looked like an unbreakable network of power now seems fragile, full of nervous silence and cautious statements. At the center of this new storm are 3 very familiar names: Oprah Winfrey, Bishop T.D. Jakes, and Denzel Washington. Oprah and Jakes have been trying to keep their distance from the chaos, publicly denying that they ever attended Diddy's infamous parties. But Denzel's story is different. He has not spoken. He has not defended or denied anything. People are beginning to believe that Denzel may know far more than he lets on. Some insiders claim that years ago, Denzel saw something disturbing at one of Diddy's events and quietly walked away, never to return. There are even whispers that he might have saved evidence, what many online call the tapes. And that could explain why so many powerful names in entertainment and spirituality suddenly seem nervous. Could it be that Denzel Washington is the only one holding the truth about what really happened behind closed doors? The rumors started spreading fast when Diddy's trial reached its most serious phase. As witness testimonies came out, people online began asking which celebrities had attended his mysterious gatherings. Videos and screenshots began to circulate, connecting well-known figures to the alleged parties.
But why haven't any of Diddy's friends spoke up for him?
My man, listen here. All those ones who made it to the Diddy party, to the after party, and to the hotel lobby, they not gonna ruin their brand. They not gonna say nothing. Man, I was watching the other day, listen to me. They did that, they on Channel 2 News here in New York. Gayle King and Nate and that other guy, they were talking about, they showed him beating Cassie, and they showed him the apology and the whole 9 yards. All they said is that we have commentary about that, but we got to go to a commercial. They never came back and said nothing about it. I was like, yo, damn. He still got power like that? Somebody still like him like that? Because you know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z, we the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say, I support him.
That is when Oprah and Bishop T.D. Jakes decided to speak up. During a live conversation at the Good Soil Forum in Dallas, Oprah interrupted the discussion to clear her name. She said, I've never been near a puff party. Anybody who knows me knows if there's a party, I'm the first one out. She tried to make it sound casual, even humorous, but the timing of her statement told a different story. The room was quiet. People could sense she wanted to get something off her chest. T.D. Jakes then added that he had once stopped by one of Diddy's parties briefly to wish him a happy birthday, but left after about 30 minutes. He smiled and said, I'm almost 70 years old. What do I look like? I'm a grandfather.
Now, we also know that T.D. Jakes is allegedly also a power bottom. And he's a much older man. And they say he's very enthusiastic in his endeavors. What happens when he pops something loose? You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because they're mentioning workers, but they're not mentioning women. They're mentioning men as workers.
Yeah.
Like is that a thing where like there's a website? What? It's just wild to hear like you mentioned the
You
normal.
never heard of Grindr?
I personally have not. That is what.
Why don't nobody ever talk about the fact that T.D. Jakes has an account allegedly on Grindr?
Oh wow.
Grindr is a app. It's been around for about 15 years now. It's pretty much where you could put a GPS in it. So you go onto the app and it uses the location. And it routes you to the account of the man closest to you. And then y'all there and you decide if you're going to do it at the 7-Eleven or do it at the gay club in the bathroom. It's a hookup site for promiscuous gay men.
Wow.
The Grindr.
Despite the laughter, both Oprah and Jakes looked uncomfortable. They wanted to shut the topic down completely, but their denials only made people more suspicious. Why speak about something so specific unless there was real concern that more information might come out? Behind the scenes, some say both Oprah and Jakes have been worried about what other people may know, especially people like Denzel Washington, who was once close enough to see what others might have ignored. For years, Diddy's influence stretched far beyond music. He moved in the same circles as politicians, pastors, billionaires, and media icons. He wasn't just another celebrity. He was someone who knew how to make friends in high places, and that made him nearly untouchable for a long time.
A video I was watching with Jay-Z and Diddy from back in, I guess early 2000s. We're gonna go back and watch through all of this. Because
I think you need to, because everything was done in your face.
Yeah.
They played in all of our faces. All of this stuff was done right in everyone's face. So I want you to imagine how insane it is for the victims who know this is going on, know that the authorities are being paid off, know that no one's going to believe them, and you still got to find a way to survive.
Without even though you're not getting your perp walk, would you like cameras I know they don't put cameras in federal court. Would you like to watch this thing unfold?
Oh, I think they're going to make an exception.
Ooh.
Diddy just became the new OJ. America can't afford to turn this bag down.
Oh.
I feel it. I feel a Nancy Grace greatest hits coming up. Sean P. Combs is a bad guy. She called him Sean P. Combs. She actually thought that P. Diddy was his legal name.
He changed.
P. Combs. It's a bad guy.
You know, he recently changed.
You ain't kidding, Nancy. You ain't kidding.
He recently changed his name to Brother Love, to Love. Do you think there was a reason behind him changing his name?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's the only lie that would work left. He done lied about everything else. I guess, you know.
Like, maybe all these things happened when he was in his Diddy phase and before. Now the love phase, he's on to something else.
Now you're saying that this man is suffering from multiple personality disorder. If that's the case, then we got 4 different predators and they all need to get booked.
But when the allegations against him became public, the world he built began to collapse. Former assistants, ex-partners, and employees started to speak about what really went on at his gatherings. The stories were dark and disturbing. Suddenly, every person who had ever been seen with Diddy was being investigated by the public. People wanted to know who attended the parties, who looked the other way, and who helped keep things quiet. That is when the names of Oprah and T.D. Jakes started surfacing again. Both had worked with Diddy in charitable and business settings over the years. It was also revealed that Diddy admired Jakes' sermons deeply. A woman testifying under anonymity mentioned that Diddy used to share his favorite sermons with friends, many of them from Bishop T.D. Jakes. This made people question whether Jakes truly had no deeper connection or if there was more to the story. And then there was Denzel Washington, someone who Diddy had openly admired and wanted to work with. Their friendship never became close, and now it seems Denzel may have known exactly why.
A new exclusive report in Us Weekly reveals actor Denzel Washington had a heated confrontation with rapper Sean Diddy Combs at an all-night party back in 2003. Washington reportedly abruptly left with his wife, telling Diddy, quote, "You don't respect anyone." This incident has resurfaced amidst Combs' current legal troubles. He faces charges of trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in.
Denzel Washington is one of the few people in Hollywood who never needed to chase attention. He has built his life around discipline, family, and faith. His reputation is clean, his words are measured, and his choices are deliberate. According to an old insider, Denzel once attended one of Diddy's gatherings with his wife, Pauletta. They didn't stay long. Something about the atmosphere didn't feel right. Denzel reportedly told a friend later that it was not the kind of place he wanted to be.
You just came back from the Oscars, and congratulations, and hats off and kudos and all of that. But I got to ask you right now, Pastor Washington, you stepped in the middle of World War III. We were looking at Ukraine, and it happened on the Oscars when Will, who I love, smacked Chris, who I love. You came in as a senior statesman into that situation. Now, don't let me tell you about it. You tell me, what happened? What happened? What happened? To these icons, these legends got into a fight in front of the world. What happened? No, it wasn't a fight. It was just one person slapping the taste out of the other one's mouth.
Well, there's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't you bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right. And for whatever reason, the devil got a hold of that circumstance, that night. And fortunately, there were people there, not just me, but others in the gap. Tyler Perry came right immediately right over there with me, and some prayers, you know, keep it. I don't want to say what we talked about, but there but for the grace of God, go any of us.
Yeah.
You know, who are we to condemn? You know, I don't know all the ins and outs of this situation, but I know the only solution was prayer. The way I saw it.
Unlike others who ignored the red flags, Denzel walked away and never went back. Some sources claim that during that brief visit, he saw behavior that made him deeply uncomfortable. Whether he took photos, messages, or kept notes has never been confirmed. But the rumor that he saved the tapes has been whispered in Hollywood circles for years. If that is true, then it would explain why he has stayed silent all this time. Denzel knows the cost of speaking out in an industry built on secrets. But his silence carries weight because everyone knows that he is not afraid of the truth.
Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if
Appeared
they
to be.
were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase
right.
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were, all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning
Victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
2 to 3. Also on the flash drives, Courtney, was what looked to be a manuscript written by, it appears to be a woman who had taken Kim Porter's private journals and had written a book. Is that accurate?
We don't know.
I
we don't know how. Yeah.
I don't know how, who wrote it, put it together, but it was from her when I spoke to her.
What you received on the flash drives, was it the completed book or was it notes from Kim Porter that later were made into a book?
It was completed. It's only 60,
Okay.
only about 54 pages.
Sure, and in the beginning, it says, Kim made me promise that if something happened to her, I would make sure this book became public to the world. The way Sean moved, I knew that was a promise I would have to fulfill. Kim knew I was a woman of my word, and this book was going to make it to print. So it sounds like it is a woman who wrote up the notes from Kim Porter. Does that sound accurate?
It's how you read it, yes. I haven't even read the book.
Do you know who the woman is?
No.
And to be clear, he received it in its complete form. So I think just to make sure we have some clarity here,
Yeah.
the manuscript that Mr. Burgess received was already in its complete form. It's not that he edited it or changed anything.
Got it.
He did give it to someone
Makes
else
sense.
who then edited it, but that's not how he received it.
People believe that Denzel's quiet knowledge could expose everything others are trying so hard to hide. And that might be the real reason Oprah and T.D. Jakes felt the need to publicly distance themselves from Diddy now. For decades, Bishop T.D. Jakes has been seen as a voice of wisdom and spirituality. His sermons reach millions and even influence people in Hollywood. Diddy himself once mentioned in an interview that he listened to Jakes' messages for motivation, but faith and fame have a complicated relationship. When pastors and public figures get too close to celebrity culture, the lines start to blur. A spiritual message can easily become a marketing tool. A powerful friendship can become a liability. Jakes stepped down from his megachurch earlier this year, claiming he wanted to focus on mentoring and leadership. But critics think there may be more behind that decision. Some believe he wanted to protect his name from being dragged further into Diddy's ongoing legal battle. And Oprah, with her decades of influence, has worked hard to maintain an image of integrity. Any hint of connection to Diddy's scandal could damage her legacy. Both she and Jakes understand that Diddy's downfall has created fear among those who were once part of his circle.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. That's crazy, man. But why haven't any of Diddy's friends spoke up for him?
My man, listen here. All those ones who made it to the Diddy party, to the after party, and to the hotel lobby, they not gonna ruin their brand. They not gonna say nothing. Man, I was watching the other day, listen to me. They did that, they on Channel 2 News here in New York. Gayle King and Nate and that other guy, they were talking about, they showed him beating Cassie, and they showed him the apology in the whole 9 yards. All they said is that we have commentary about that, but we got to go to a commercial. They never came back and said nothing about it. I was like, yo, damn, he still got power like that? Somebody still like him like that? Because you know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z. We the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say, I support him.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Nobody haven't came out to support him, man. Not one person outside of Stevie J.
Stevie don't count, bro.
When fame, faith, and influence meet in the same room, truth becomes dangerous. And that is why Denzel Washington's quiet distance feels so powerful. He never tried to control anyone's image. He simply chose not to be a part of it. Unlike many actors, Denzel Washington has always stayed grounded. He often talks about prayer, family, and personal discipline. He once said in an interview, "Success is not about how much you have. It's about how you live when no one is watching." Those words have become more meaningful today, because if he really did witness something wrong and quietly walked away, it shows how much integrity matters to him. Denzel does not expose people. He simply refuses to be part of something that compromises his beliefs. Hollywood has tried for years to lure Denzel into its more reckless culture, but he never gave in. He stayed loyal to his wife, focused on his craft, never allowed himself to be shaped by the industry's darker side. That kind of character makes powerful people nervous, because Denzel's silence is not ignorance. It is an observation. It means he has seen things and decided to let time reveal the truth. And when someone like Denzel chooses not to speak, the people who might have something to hide start to panic. Now, as Diddy's trial continues and more testimonies come to light, the fear in Hollywood is growing. People are wondering who will be mentioned next, whose names will appear in the court records, and what old footage might suddenly resurface.
You know I'm lying when they start explaining something and nobody asked them to explain. Oprah Winfrey, color purple, decided to take it upon herself to get on stage and tell her audience that she ain't never been to a P. Diddy party. Now, Oprah, we all know your into a Puff Daddy party. If you don't, your best friend is Harvey Weinstein. Who do you think you trying to fool? We didn't even ask you to explain, girl. We already know. Dancing all in the video. Girl, if you don't shut the up and explain to us what happened to Ha-Ha-He, what'd you do to Ha-Ha-He? We know you did something to Ha-Ha-He. Laser beam. Why come these celebrities always be acting like we be thinking about them on a day-to-day basis? We ain't thinking about y'all ass. We got to do. We got bills to pay. Stop trying to be on our good side. All you on our bad side. Especially after you all try to convince us to vote for Kamala Hoochie Mama her.
Oprah and T.D. Jakes have done everything possible to deny their involvement. But denial alone doesn't erase suspicion. The more they talk about not being connected, the more people question why they are bringing it up. Denzel, on the other hand, remains silent. That silence feels heavy, like it carries history. If he truly holds any form of evidence or memory of what went on in those private gatherings, it could explain why some of the biggest names in entertainment and faith are acting so defensive now. Hollywood thrives on secrecy, but the truth always finds a way to come out, and the people who were once protected by silence are beginning to feel exposed. Some say Denzel's silence is his way of protecting the innocent. Others believe it's a quiet warning to those who know what they've done. Either way, his calm presence in this storm is making everyone pay attention.
And if you got sick and threw up because it was so disgusting, what happened?
You had to eat it.
You had to eat your vomit if you threw up. That's satanic ritual. Diddy was at this party? Denzel Washington was at this party?
Yep.
Birdman was at this party?
Yes, he was.
And Young Jock?
Yep.
And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left?
And beanie, socks, and a gold chain.
So you're telling me Denzel Washington was he had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children.
Yep.
Funny. Because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou.
Yep. So a lot of them do.
I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark.
Left thigh.
So one of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh.
Yep.
Did you have interactions with Diddy?
Yep.
Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on everybody. I ain't keeping no secrets. Denzel?
Yep.
Birdman? Did Birdman promise you things?
So much. Like what he promised Lil Wayne at a young age. Because you know we shared the system together. Share a birthday together too.
I know a lot of you have seen P. Diddy get guardianship of a lot of young kids. That means he holds their contracts. I know you heard me talk about Ali's contract and how often it gets auctioned off, and the things that come from that when it's auctioned. So when you're seeing that he was a guardian for these children, he's holding their MK Ultra contracts is what that translates to. Were you the only child at this party?
No.
The world is watching as Diddy's empire continues to crumble piece by piece. Every new testimony, every new video, and every whispered name adds another layer to the mystery. Oprah and Bishop T.D. Jakes may have cleared the air publicly, but their urgency in doing so makes people wonder if there is more beneath the surface. And then, there is Denzel Washington, the man who walks with quiet purpose, never chasing attention but always earning respect. If he truly saw what others ignored, and if he really has the tapes that could reveal the truth, then Hollywood is standing on borrowed time. Because sooner or later, the truth has a way of coming out. The only question that remains is this: when it finally does, will Denzel Washington be the one to press play? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.